Hey there. I want to talk a little bit about the FTC thing. I'm staying put. I was one of the ones who saw last month that they're doing this thing with the FTC and coppa and all that, and I was late into it. I had no idea anything about it, and all the gamer channels and all the kids creation channels were all freaking out for a long time about it, and I had no idea because I wasn't paying attention to that stuff. And the FTC had very ambiguous criteria, and you could get fined $42,000 and per instance, and it was terrifying. Not terrifying, but it was like, okay, we need to move. So I organized a forum for Grace channels to see if we could find another platform, and we have yet to find anything. And feel and like don't feel a peace about leaving. I thought maybe we were done. Let YouTube do its thing, but maybe this is it. Maybe the Lord's going to take us home, and maybe our ministries are done. And then here's the thing: every time I think I'm done, then the Lord gives me all kinds of things to say, and I think I just wonder if this was a distraction. We don't get moved by fear. But anyway, what's happened since then is that the FTC clarified in the last week their criteria. Whereas before it was vague, it was like you could just read it any way you wanted, and there was no help. It was scary. But now they have clarified their criteria to make it pretty clear that they're going after people who are circumventing the rules, pretending to market to adults when they're really marketing to children. Um, and they have introduced this mixed audience idea. If you target a mixed audience, you're safe. They are not going after the people we thought they were going after. And they've clarified their criteria because of the uproar. So now it reads a lot more simply and understandably to where it's like, yeah. And, if you look at your channel statistics, I've got 0% under the age of 18 in my audience. And they go by that. They go by empirical evidence to show what segment of your audience is really that young. Plus, are you deliberately targeting them? So and the fees, if they were going to fine people, it's not 42,000 per instance. It's up to, and it's based on a multiplier depending on how much money you're making. Well, we're not making any money. So that part all is not bad news for those who are doing what we do. Now, if you're a kids content creator, yeah, you're going to lose money on this deal, and you're going to have to find another platform. But for us, it's turning out to be what looks like possibly a non-issue. And then YouTube. The other fear was that YouTube only gave us two options. You could choose under 13 or over 13, and there was no in between for a mixed audience. Well, now YouTube has tweeted, as of yesterday, that they're talking to the FTC about the programming challenges with a mixed audience option and looking for a workaround. So they are not wanting to deplatform all their creators. And no, I'm not saying censorship and stuff isn't a real thing. They could take down our channel for other reasons. But I just have no sense of urgency. I forgot about it. I had this forum and everything, but the last 5 days I just hadn't even think about it. And then I started seeing channels go down, and I said, oh my gosh, it's the 4th. That's only 6 days away. And I looked again, and yeah, the criteria has been clarified. And I am sorry if I led a charge, but we were supposed to coordinate this if we were going, and Sabrina Nizine was saying, I just don't have any peace about trying to find another platform. Every time I think about it, anxiety hits me. And I said, yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Plus, we couldn't find another platform that was stable and good. And, yes, there's other options, but what we wanted was to try to keep the community intact. So I'm staying. I mean, if they eventually take down my channel, fine, but I'm not afraid. And here's the thing. We're in the middle of a revival, and it's about to get stronger because a whole bunch of people have just entered into positional truth and are finally seeing it and grasping it, and it's changing their life. And Greg Jackson called me the other day and said, I just want you to know I'm happier than I have ever been 2019 was the year that we knew kind of about what the rest of God was, and we kind of knew what grace was, but we hadn't experienced it. We didn't know how to enter into it. And this year, it seems like the teaching has gotten very clear, and people are grasping it. We have no righteousness of our own. We have no standing of our own. We have nothing of our own. Everything is in Christ, and Christ is everything. And as people are grasping that, they've got joy and peace and the fruit of the Spirit, and they have less desire for sin, and all the things that Jesus promised are starting to manifest. And if you just look at the comments on our walls. Look at Petra's wall, my wall, Jules' wall, and then look at new channels that are popping up, starting to proclaim this. Okay, the language is changing. People's languages are changing. People are repenting. They're changing their mind about what they used to believe about sanctification and rewards, and seeing that it's got to be Christ. And as a result, they're entering rest, and as a result, they're seeing the fruit. Now, that is a precursor to a season of refreshing that I believe is coming, that I talked about since the beginning of my channel. I believe that there will be a season of refreshing for the grace channels before we go home. And it's got to do with revelation. And I don't want to get into it too much here, but I think it's strategic that the enemy definitely wants us off. He wants to he doesn't care what platform we're on. He wants the community to dissolve. The attacks have ramped up. The lies are ramped up. The slander is ramped up. The call for us to shut up is ramping up. And meanwhile, the only people who are talking about this are bailing and closing down their channels. So, and I may have contributed to it by believing the hype about the FTC thing. It wasn't hype, it was real. But I'm staying put. And I just wanted to make that clear to everybody. And then, meanwhile, I'm curating my, sorry, I have not got much sleep last night. I'm curating my Christmas demos to see what I can put together to do like a little Christmas album this year. It's a little late in the game for that, but after this you can watch my lovely wife sing the Christmas song, Chestnuts Roasting, with a jazz trio. Just thought you could have that to listen to. Alright, take care.
Roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh, and every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. many times, many ways. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas.